people watching will think, why shouldn't we believe that American soldiers took razor blades to his genitals? Even if it wasn't in this case, it might have been in another case. There's been so much damage done that even John Bellinger, who's a legal advisor to the National Security Council, said that the treatment of detainees under the Bush administration was one of the great tragedies.
Sarah, I would say the following. In my own opinion, I'm speaking for myself, there have been individual aberrational acts in this war, just like, frankly, there was misconduct and aberrational acts by British soldiers in Northern Ireland, has been the case in every war. Point number one. Point number two, statistically, looking at the relevant baselines, we have done a far better job, despite all the horrible PR we've gotten, of the treatment of detainees or collateral damage or any other index of a good behavior in war. And we're punishing people responsible for it far more vigorously than any other country in the world. Our problem, frankly, is the black eye driven by relentless lawfare, relentless criticism, some of which is well-intentioned, but nevertheless is missing any kind of balance. Think about it.
Well,
bad things happen in police gorgeous operations. Of course bad things happen in war. The question is, are we doing something about it?
So could we end up in a bizarre situation where we end up seeing torturers prosecuted rather than those who allegedly were doing the wrong things in the first place, those who are and have been tortured?
Well, let me say this. First, much as I respect David, he is categorically wrong when he says that Americans didn't torture Binyam Mohammed. And what's more, British judges have specifically said there is documentary proof of that. So there is evidence.
Let's get off the case of Binyam Mohammed, because as David Rifkin said, he's your client. But on this, could we end up in a situation where those who were carrying out the torture could be prosecuted and those who were tortured never are convicted?
Absolutely. And if you're the person who's been tortured and if you happen to be innocent, that's obviously exactly what should happen, isn't it?
David Rifkin, can you see that we might end up in that that situation, however you feel about it?
No, I frankly don't think that's where we're going to end up. Again, I am not defending such horrible techniques as using razor blades on people's genitals or even waterboarding. I never have. But let's be clear. The number of individuals that have been subjected to that treatment, and I'm not saying that any number, no matter how low, is okay, is tiny, and the people involved will be prosecuted. The problem, frankly, with Clive and others is they're painting everything with broad brush. They're saying, for example, keeping a person in solitary confinement is torture. With all due respect, at least in our penal system and in many other countries in the world, people in the criminal justice system, civilians are being kept in solitary confinement. Force-feeding people going on a hunger strike to the death is viewed as torture. I mean, this is almost promiscuous misuse of the word torture. So the real torture was meted out to a very small number of people. I'm not defending it. We have to put it in context. But everything is torture.
David Rifkin.
As far as Clive is concerned.
David Rifkin, Clive Stafford Smith, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.